second sauce we will be making today, mother sauce, will be a veloute sauce, and there's several different types of veloute sauces you can make. We're going to start with the chicken veloute. Like I say, this is a very easy sauce to do, something very easy to do in a presentation or competition that does not require a lot of time.
You don't have to have an incredibly complicated food for competition. Simple food, perfectly prepared, is something that judges really look for. For example, if you just use Greg's sauce on a chicken breast, who knows, it could be the best dish they have tasted.
All it is making your roux, adding your stock, and finishing it with your seasoning. And again, cooking it at least 30 minutes. I recommend 30, but depends how much time you have. But again, the longer you cook a stock, the better it tastes. I do like on a veloute to even add a little white wine at the end to give it a little bit of extra flavor profile, which really makes it a real nice sauce. What we're going to do first is make our roux. And one thing on cooking and working on a stove, you always want to make sure when you're working with hot liquids and oils, if you have a handled pot, you keep it away from your elbows and your sleeves. That's a safety factor you want to do so that you do not knock the pot off the floor or on yourself and burn yourself. I always turn, I'm right-handed, I turn my handle to the right, and I make sure I'm always working from right to left.
If you're left-handed like my friend Mona, you're just going to want to reverse it. That
way my cooking and setup stations to the right or to the left, and my cooking is on the right. We're going to go ahead and make the roux first. Again, for approximately 1 gallon of stock and sauce, you're going to make 10 ounces of butter and 10 ounces of flour. Again, it's a 50-50 ratio, always something very easy to remember.
This makes a lot of sauce. For competition or a meal for your family, you'd want to change the amounts.
And again, 1 gallon of stock, and then that way you already know it's just a roux and a stock combo. We'll go ahead and turn up our heat on our 10 ounces of butter. And again, you want to use a bread flour if possible. All-purpose flour works fine. This is not a clarified butter. This is just a regular and unsalted butter. One thing on the butter, I use unsalted butters for certain reasons because it allows me to finish my flavor profile how I want the sauce to taste at the end.
Chefs really like control. Seriously, this is a great tip. I always use unsalted butter when I cook.
And that's one thing you need to worry about. So again, I work with unsalted butters, and for that reason. You're going to stir your roux, get the lumps out of it as fast as you can, as quickly, and get it smooth to a nice smooth paste. This roux we're going to cook for approximately, again, it's a white roux, blonde roux. You're going to cook this no more than 8 minutes. The reason why you do cook it that long is to take the starchiness flavor away from the flour. What we're looking for here is a nice, even, consistent paste roux. Don't want to get it too hot. One of the problems when making your roux, number one, you can scorch your butter because of your milk solids, your dairy solids in the bottom, and impurities. And then you can also scorch the flour and the butter as you're making your roux. Your roux, once you're cooking it, you have, like I say, up to 8 minutes. And what you're looking for is a nice shine in the roux itself. And on a low simmer, you can watch it, stir it. And when you're making your roux, you do have to pay a lot of attention to it. You can be doing other things, working, doing other things, but you still have to make sure you pay attention to your sauce of your base roux because that's how you start your sauce. And if you lose your roux, you got to start all over again. This is, like I say, a very, very easy sauce to make. It's only stock and roux with spices, and that's it. And that's all you do. At the end, you can enhance it as much as you want with spice, whatever you prefer to use, but your basic seasonings are salt and pepper, and that's it. Now, as you can see in the pot, we're starting to get a nice simmer. It's starting to come up a little bit. It looks like it's foaming almost, but you're starting to see the glare in the roux right now, and that's where you're getting your finished sauce appearance. And you'll see at the end when we're done with the sauce, you'll have a glare and a nice shine to your sauce. Okay, we've let our sauce cook 8 minutes. We will take our broth and we will heat it very, very little just to get it warm. And the reason that is you want to add a warm stock to a hot roux so you don't get a lumpy sauce. Our stock is almost ready to go. And we have a beautiful, beautiful looking roux. This roux is very nice. Again, you want to work in a very neat area and have all your mise en place as I prepared today.
Mise en place means to put in place. It's a French phrase that basically everyone that competes knows about. And you thought that Pro Start was just about cooking. Yeah, right. You also learned French.
So that you're getting your products all set up, ready to go, so that you can make your sauce without wasting time. Time's very valuable in the kitchen, and the more and better you're set up prepared, obviously, the quicker you can work and the more higher productive you can be. Especially when you're in competition time, if you have everything in all your mise en place ready to go, labeled and dated, and done in steps. If you're doing your starter, you'd have your starter first laid out on top, then you go into your entree, and then of course your dessert. And we're going to go ahead and add our roux to our warm stock, and we will start to thicken it. And we'll turn it on high. So we can get it to come back up to temperature real quick, so we can get the full effectiveness out of the roux itself. Veloutes can be used with a lot of different applications. Again, you can use just a vegetable stock if you want to make it a lighter style of veloute. You can do a fish veloute. And it's for whatever application you're going to cook with and what you're going to use it at the end. Starting to get a nice shine to the sauce. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt for flavor. Not too much. White pepper. Into this sauce, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of Coach's Low Country seasoning to give it a little bit of extra flavor to it.
If you can't find Coach's seasoning in your town, just email me and we'll send it to your Pro Start class.
One thing you can do while you're making your sauce is you take a spoon, plastic spoon, and taste it and see where you're at on your flavor profile.
Tasting while you cook is really important. In fact, judges watch for it at competition all the time.
And see if you need to make any more adjustments with your seasonings. And this sauce does not have to be strained at the end. if you do not want to. It doesn't have vegetables sauteed and simmered for enhancing the flavor, so this one can come from straight to the pot to getting shocked and again thermalized, so your temperature, you get it out of the danger zone as soon as possible, and then you go ahead and can use your sauce. Okay, we have now gotten the sauce to the thickness we're looking for. We've been cooking it now 30 minutes, and we got a nice gloss finish to the sauce. And right now at this point we probably would just like to make maybe a little adjustment on some flavor. So we'll try and taste it again, give it a try. Turn it down so we don't scorch the bottom of the pan, of course, and scorch the sauce. And we'll give it a little more salt. And we're going to go with a little bit of more Coach's spice to give it a little bit more of a peppery flavor. We'll stir that in, cook it out for about 5 minutes, and give it another taste and see how it is. Got a nice finish. This again can be made into a cream style sauce by just adding heavy cream to it, making it, and it's again a chicken based type of sauce rather than a milk from the bechamel. So you'll get a different flavor profile from that. And I'll show you how to actually make one of those when we're done. Okay, we've cooked for 5 more minutes or so. Let's see how our flavor. Very good, very good.
Tastes great, but remember, don't double dip.
Alrighty, this sauce is done. And what we'll do is go ahead, and I'm going to strain this sauce, and then we'll go ahead and shock it and get the thermal temperature back to where it's supposed to be for meeting the safety zone.
If you don't remember how to do this, check out the ice bath section.
One thing on your sauces, you have a 7-day shelf life, but that's very important. When you're working with a 7-day shelf life, you do have it labeled dated and you're rotating properly.
You need to remember this.
Again, day dots are acceptable, but they have to be dated. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make just a cream sauce, and we'll go ahead and use our hot stock. Get it nice and fluffy. There we go. It gives a nice white body and a very soft look. Good consistency.
Yummy.
And it'll evenly coat your chicken, your product, or whatever you're serving. And there's your finished sauce.